Okay. And let's see if we are live, which I believe we are. No, oh my gosh, no, don't do that. Cut it out. Nope, oh, oh. And of course, my kitty cat is being my kitty cat. I love her, but she's retarded. And of course, my kitty cat. Oh, no, 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 no. Stop it. Stop it. Cut it out. No, buddy. No. No. Okay. Alright, buddy. There you go. Okay. I guess now is the time for me to start the music, and so I will now start the music. Oh no. There we are.
白岩学園3年 B 組の皆さん、こんにちは。
Konnichiwa. All right. Okay. We're gonna transition back to my favorite sunset. No, I think it's the sunrise, but I'm not sure. I can't really tell. Oh. And now my cat is just randomly casing and attacking me. Thankfully, she's very gentle, so the claws are always retracted. So it's a very soft and fuzzy attack, which I don't mind too much, except for the fact that, you know, I'm just constantly being attacked while I'm trying to stream. Oh, God. Oh, alright, well, whatever. Anyway, okay, so I wanted to discuss, rather, I wanted to read an article, and this article is from a woman named Emily Bazelon. This made the rounds on Twitter earlier today. I don't know how many people here read it, so I thought I would go ahead and read it because this is a great time to just generally read about what's being said with regards to white people. Truth be told, I've mentioned this at least once or thrice before. I count myself as being highly sympathetic to the alt-right without formally being alt-right. There's a lot of overlap in my thinking, especially with regards to a combination of demographics and race realism. I am squarely and firmly in that camp. The only thing is that I suppose I diverge just a touch, or rather just a touch with regards to Juliette, Quebec. Articles like this make it difficult for me to retain something that is directly in between alt-light and alt-right, and I think it will become apparent when I read the article. So, without further explication and context, I will go ahead and read the article. Alright, here we are. The title of this article is White People Are Noticing Something New, Their Own Whiteness. And this was written in, it was written on the 13th, so about yesterday-ish. I mean, it was probably written like 2 or 3 days before with light editing touches, but basically it's extraordinarily recent. Okay, and here's the article. Being white in America has long been treated, at least by white people, as too familiar to be of much interest. It's been the default identity, the cultural wallpaper, something described, when described at all, using bland metaphors like milk and vanilla and codes like corn-fed and all-American. Grass is green, the sky is blue, and until very recently, a product described as nude or flesh-colored probably looked like white people's skin. Ah, it's a nice context, isn't it? She's describing us all as being boring people. How wonderful. Let's continue. How often do white people talk about being white? Not often. There's an exclamation point at the end of that. So long as we aren't hanging out with white nationalists marrying into a family of color or chuckling over jokes about our dancing, we have endless opportunities to avoid thinking. Wait a second. Wait, let's backtrack just a moment here. Let's listen to that one more time. Okay, here we are. I'm going to read the sentence, or reread the sentence with a little bit of emphasis mine. So long as we aren't hanging out with white nationalists, marrying into a family of color, or chuckling over jokes about our dancing, we have endless opportunities to avoid thinking much about our race. Alright. Okay. I'm pretty sure you know where this is going. Let's continue. We generally prefer to frame identity in ethnic terms instead. Identifying as Italian or Irish or Jewish seems... Oh, that was nice. Okay, I gotta start that sentence over. Here we go. Identifying as Italian or Irish or Jewish seems to come with zest, pathos, and a chance to take pride in some shared history. Plain, undifferentiated whiteness, on the other hand, is a toggle between nothingness and awfulness, writes Nell Irvin Painter, an emeritus professor of history at Princeton and author of the 2010 book, The History of White People. Nell Irvin. Well, here's a person that I have got to. Nell Irvin Painter. I can't help myself. I have to look this person up immediately. Nell Irvin Painter. Let's check this person out, and let's see what Nell Irvin Painter is all about. Nell Irvin Painter is an African-American painter, female. Let's see here. She was born in Houston, Texas, educated at Harvard. That tells me a little bit. Awards: Guggenheim Fellowship for the Humanities, U.S. and Canada. Nominations: NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Literary Work, Nonfiction. Oh, wow. She was even on the Colbert Report. Well, that's an amazing thing now, isn't it? Okay, let's continue. Okay, now let's, of course, notice that the very first paragraph, white people were they were described as being milk, vanilla, and corn-fed. Quite boring. Sky's blue, and all this good stuff. And now, here at the tail end of the second paragraph, apparently it's a toggle between nothingness and awfulness. So not only are we nothing, not only are we bland, but apparently we're bad. Well, that doesn't seem like a very good dichotomy at all, now does it? These are the two descriptors that we're left with. Let's continue. Now on to paragraph 3. The Trump era, however, has compelled an unprecedented acknowledgement of whiteness as a real and alarming force. Alarming. In the months leading up to the 2016 election, as Donald Trump rallied his almost entirely white base with calls for banning Muslims and deporting quote-unquote bad hombres, Politico asked, "What's going on with America's white people?" The NPR podcast, Code Switch, debuted with an episode called Can We Talk About Whiteness? Since handing Trump 58% of the white vote, we have been the subject of newspaper... There goes that word again. Let me restart the sentence. Since handing Trump 58% of the white vote, we have been the subject of newspaper and magazine analysis about our race-based resentment, fear of declining status, and supposed economic anxiety. The satire... it's a satire. The satire, Dear White People, was picked up by Netflix, and the film Get Out, which turned self-proclaimed Obama-supporting white people into figures of horror, became the think piece blockbuster of 2017. I actually didn't see Get Out, so I have no idea what the hell is being talked about. Suddenly, it is less tenable than ever for white people to write our whiteness out of the story of race in America or define ourselves only in terms of what we are not. That's a very complex sentence. Not complex, let me rephrase. That's a complicated sentence. There's a lot of on-off going on there. I'm going to reread that one more time just to be sure that I understand it. Suddenly, it is less tenable than ever for white people to write our whiteness out of the story of race in America or define ourselves only in terms of what we are not. So apparently we were defining ourselves by what we weren't. So I think the assumption was that we were defining ourselves by being not black or something, or being not Native American, I guess. Oh, that's right, because we're bland. I forgot about that. We toggle between blandness, or either nothingness, and awful. Okay, so if it's nothingness, then if white people are inherently nothing, then you can only define nothingness by what nothingness is not. So if we are nothing, then something else is a thing, and we can define ourselves by that thing. That is to say, in the negative. Oh wow, this is wow. That's really horrifying. She's really painting a picture of how like void we are. I mean, not only are we a void of nothingness, but we're a bad thing for being nothing. Jesus, hate the Lordy. This is terrible. All right, let's continue. All right. Much of the sharpest examination comes, as it always has, from people of color who have spent centuries acutely aware of how the force of whiteness operates. All right, people who have spent centuries acutely aware. No one has been alive for centuries, plural. People have been alive. I mean, a person. Okay, much of the sharpest examination comes from people of color who have spent centuries acutely aware. No, absolutely not. People don't live past like 120. To say that, oh god damn it, this is bullshit. She's going into collectivist thinking here. Utter nonsense. Alright, okay, let's continue. But these days, white people are also observing one another's whiteness with unfamiliar intensity. When a white manager at Philadelphia Starbucks called the police to report 2 black customers who didn't order right away after one had asked to use the bathroom, a white customer, Melissa DePino, tweeted video of the ensuing arrests, adding, "All the other white people are wondering why it's never happened to us when we do the same thing." I don't think... No. I'm pretty sure the manager was either Asian or Hispanic. Oh, god damn it. I wonder if anyone knows this one. I just want to be sure. I'm going to play a little bit of, James Allsup, where he goes ahead and looks into things as he's reading them. I want to do that right now, because this is interesting. Okay, Starbucks, black people, arrested. Okay, black man arrested, blah, blah, blah. I want to see the manager. Let me see the manager. Manager told. I've got to find this manager. Okay, I'm looking up a video now, and I'm hoping to find the manager. It looks like I don't have the manager here, which is terrible. God damn. Okay, I'm going to ask chat the desperate question of, please, does anyone know about the manager? Because I really want to know about this manager. Let's see here. No, I don't see anyone. Typing as a manager. I've got to find this manager. Manager who made Starbucks. Maybe that's it. The manager who called. Maybe. Just maybe this is the one. No? Oh, wait a second. Who is this? Starbucks CEO? No, that's not it. Clips. All clips. Nope, that's not it at all. I've got to find this manager. Manager interview? No, those are just the interviews of the 2 black guys. I know I've seen the manager, and I know the manager is not freaking white. The manager is something else. And I gotta find this manager. White manager is... Let's see here. That's the CEO. But that's not the manager. I want to find the manager. Alright, okay, what I'm looking at right now, the manager might be white. The manager actually might be white. So I might be incorrect, but I would swear that I actually saw a photo or an interview of the manager who was Hispanic. So I could be wrong. I guess I don't want to go out on a limb here right now. So it'll take me another like 10 minutes of research that I don't care to do. I'm going to get back to the article in deference to everyone listening. So here we are. We're going to go back to the article. When a white manager at Philadelphia Starbucks called the police, so I'm just going to assume that this author is authentic in calling the manager white. That may or may not be the case, but we're going to, for the sake of this article, pretend that the truth is being told, even though I do not put any faith in media whatsoever. Let's continue. Starbucks called the police to report 2 black customers who didn't order right away, blah, blah, blah. We already got to that. A few weeks later, a white woman named Michelle Snyder confronted and filmed another white woman who called the police on a couple of black men for using a charcoal grill at an Oakland park. The caller's image became a meme, BBQ Becky showing up on Saturday Night Live and being dropped into stills from Black Panther, Barack Obama's inauguration, and a Black Last Supper. Oh, that's right, of course, because Jesus was black, naturally. Yeah, but let's go ahead and bear in mind that the charcoal grill was, I don't know, man, that's suspect. You're not supposed to have charcoals out in the open like that, or charcoal grills out in the open like that. I don't know. I think that calling 911 might be a bit much. I don't know, but at the same time, if they're doing something illegal, I'm on the fence about that one. Anyway, in each of these cases, as well as a string of others, a whole string, huh? All right. White people didn't get the usual benefit of assumed normalcy. God, I hate it when people use the word normalcy. Normalcy is not a word, it's normality. Everyone in chat, oh my god, normality. Use the word normality. I hate it when reporters do this. God damn it. Okay, moving on. They were portrayed instead as a distinct subculture with bizarre and threatening habits. Wait, what? Okay, let's go ahead and let's rewind there. Who has the bizarre and threatening habits? In each of these cases, as well as a string of others, white people didn't get the usual benefit of assumed normality. They were portrayed instead as a distinct subculture with bizarre and threatening habits. Alright, that's weird. White people were suddenly identified as the subgroup of Americans most likely to call the police on black people over a barbecue or to complain about whether every single football player stands for the anthem, stereotypes that rang true even to other white people. Wait, what? Call the police over a barbecue? No, I've only heard of one incident of that, and that was the one in Oakland. And even then, like, I forgot about it basically, like, immediately after reading the sentence, because it doesn't fucking matter. And to complain whether every single football player stands for the anthem? No, it's not about every single football player standing for the anthem. It's about respect to the flag. My god. Well, then again, I guess I'm listening to a fellow white person, so whatever. Let's continue. For a long time, many white people assumed it was our due as the majority to encounter various racial others and marvel at the exotic things they ate, built, or wore. Now we can go online and find people of color doing the gawking, offering jokes and anthropological scrutiny about white people's under-seasoning food, mistreating potato salad, or issuing washcloths. Jesus Christ, this is just nothing but fuck white people, isn't it? God damn, alright. Sorry, I'm trying not to curse too much, but holy crap, this is really upsetting. Alright, now on to the next paragraph. Chief among our remarked upon habits is our often claimed color blindness and affinity for individuality, a supposed indifference to race that often reads more like the ignorance of it. A Becky, as in BBQ Becky, Damon Young explained in a piece on The Root, is a type of white woman who exists in a state of racial obliviousness that shifts from intentionally clueless to intentionally condescending. But a person can be clueless and condescending without it having to be about being white. Ah, my god, alright. The fixation on demonizing white people in this article is very infuriating. But then again, that's the point of the article, and that's why I never read these things. Okay, I guess this is a lesson to me to understand more what the hell these people are talking about. This is highly red-pilling for me. Let's continue. God, I'm not even halfway through this paragraph yet. Thankfully, oh god, never mind. I was going to say thankfully I don't have too many paragraphs to go, but I think I have another 7 paragraphs to go. I'll try to hurry it up a little bit. Like the original You Are Becky in the intro to Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back. Oh, that's right. White people are referred to in proliferating slang. White people, white people, white people, white people TM. The spaces we unthinkingly dominate are white spaces. The indignant defensiveness we may display when confronted by racial conflict is white fragility. White people are losing the luxury of non-self-awareness, an emotionally complicated shift that we are not always taking well. 25 years ago, black people were the lost population and black intellectuals were on the defensive. Daryl Pinckney observed this month in the New York Review of Books. Now white people are the ones who seem lost. Well, I guess when they're constantly being demonized. Alright. Early uses of the word white in American law were unsurprisingly about slavery, in particular sparing white indentured servants from the prohibitions that barred black slaves from owning property or weapons or learning to read or write. That's a weird sentence. Now, this is a parenthetical. The slave codes created whiteness in the United States. Lee Babout, an English professor at Arizona State University, said when I spoke to him by phone. End parenthetical. That's a completely superfluous parenthetical that was designed only to give everyone the idea that the author is very thorough in research, just by stating that they talked to a professor at Arizona State University. Oh, God, pat yourself on the back more. All right. Many subsequent uses have been about immigration. The country's first Naturalization Act in 1790 decreed that only a foreigner who was a free white person could become a citizen, laying the foundation for the 1882 Act that barred laborers from China, later expanded to encompass other parts of Asia. In 1923, the Supreme Court had to decide whether the category of a free white person my apologies. Whether the category of a free white person included Bhagat Singh Thind, a high-caste Indian man who was technically as Caucasian as the justices hearing the case, according to the 18th century pseudosciences that defined such categories. Pseudosciences? Oh, God damn it, these people. Okay, I'm not going to go into it. We all know how to take that apart. Now, parenthetical. Very long parenthetical, it seems. Yeah, it's a very long parenthetical. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind, my bad. It's there is an error in the copying of this article, and I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. They rejected him on the grounds that in the common understanding, white meant something narrower. Okay, whatever. In the 1940s, the census started lumping together everyone with Spanish last names as Hispanic, but the category Hispanic Latino, now self-reported, has remained as an ethnicity rather than race, which is why the census calls white people non-Hispanic whites. Wow, history lesson. Even as the common understanding of whiteness remained porous and inconsistent, those included within it often treated it as a kind of noble calling, the white man's burden, a mission to civilize the globe's others, perhaps even by divine right. God damn it. Just, all you have to do is look at frickin' DNA tests. That'll tell you who's white or not. God damn it. I hate these people now. No, I don't. What am I talking about? Okay, ADL, thank you for going ahead and flagging and YouTube and all that good stuff. Your stupid algorithms. I don't hate anyone. Moving on. Okay, these beliefs are now recognized as objectionable. They've been replaced ostensibly by an acceptance of pluralism and diversity, though not a deep commitment to integration. That's a weird set of ideas all placed next to each other. Let me go through that again because I want to understand this for myself. So I'm going to reread those sentences. Even as the common understanding of whiteness remained porous and inconsistent, those included within it often treated it as a kind of noble calling, the white man's burden, a mission to civilize the globe's others, perhaps even by divine right. Okay, so we are nothing, going back to the earlier part of the article, we're either nothing or we're terrible. However, in our nothingness and terribleness, we somehow see ourselves as good? That's weird. Okay. These beliefs are now recognized as objectionable. Okay, so civilizing people is now objectionable. Okay. They've been replaced ostensibly by an acceptance of pluralism and diversity, though not a deep commitment to integration. Well, but you can't... Integration? Wait, no, that's a non sequitur. Ostensibly by an acceptance of pluralism and diversity. Pluralism and diversity. Hello, Duvid. I can hear you umming yourself just as I would. Pluralism and diversity. Yeah. Okay, I guess if we're going to talk about the chopped salad that America is now becoming. But the second part, though not a deep commitment to integration, that's complete nonsense. Integration means that you have to integrate with something, but I mean, at the very early part of the article, we were defined as being nothingness or bad. Integration is either not possible or not desirable, according to the very first paragraph of this article. This person is on another planet and does not deserve to have a job writing articles. Okay, let's continue with the paragraph. And yet, as long as white people continue to see ourselves as the norm and the neutral, we haven't replaced as much as we might imagine. We continue to act as racial managers, clinging to the job of setting the culture's terms, measuring everyone else's otherness against those terms. No, I don't give a flying fuck about other people. I only care about my own people surviving and doing well. What the hell? Whatever. People of color have described the darkness at the heart of whiteness each step of the... God. Oh my God. Okay. I'm not upset. I'm okay. I'm going to continue reading. Here we go. People of color have described the darkness at the heart of whiteness each step of the way. As the poet, lawyer James Weldon Johnson observed a century ago, the colored people of this country know and understand the white people better than the white people know and understand them. Oh, apparently I don't know myself as well as a black guy from a century ago. Okay. In an 1829 tract, David Walker wrote for the country's first black-owned newspaper, argued that the central feature of white identity was murder. Oh. Today, Ta-Nehisi Coates calls it plunder. So murder? Our central feature is murder now? Okay. I'm going to go to the chat. Press 1 if you have murdered anyone recently, and press 2 if you have not murdered anyone recently. I'm curious to know what chat thinks. This is quite curious. I'm going to participate, so 1 if you have, 2 if you have not. Okay. Let's see what chat has to say. Oh my God, this article is absolutely upsetting. Yes, James Schmidt, recently. Okay, so thus far, John Harris, you're a terrible person. How dare you, sir? Okay, oh, that's right, I forgot. That is Fed posting. I completely forgot what I was talking about. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is highly upsetting. So the real world test seems to indicate a negative for central identity being one of murderous intent. Okay. All right, I am going to go back to the article. Thank you very much, Elaine Sabato. Okay. Let's go back to the article. Okay, this is nice and upsetting. Let's see here. In the fire next time, stunning, blah, blah, blah. There we are. Argued that the central feature of white identity was murder. Today, Ta-Nehisi Coates calls it plunder. So apparently, plunder and murder are both the central defining points of being white. I'm confident that if I did the exact same request, everyone would say that they have not recently plundered anything, so this does seem, in my opinion, to be utter nonsense. Let's continue. In The Fire Next Time, his stunning book of 1963, God, she really likes to call things stunning and wonderful. She's worse than me. I do it all the time. I call things amazing and fabulous. Maybe I should cut it out, and I'll stop sounding like a New York Times article writer. All right. In his stunning book of 1963, James Baldwin wrote that white people could resolve their position only by looking inward. White people in this country will have quite enough to do in learning how to accept and love themselves and each other, he wrote. And when they have achieved this, which will not be tomorrow and may very well never be, the Negro problem will no longer exist, for it will no longer be needed. It's an odd sentence. Okay, I'm not going to try to parse that one. I kind of want to plow through this just to make it happen, because I only have one paragraph to go here. So I'm going to kind of wind up for this last paragraph. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a doozy. So let's go ahead and let's get ready for this last paragraph. Here we go. The growing self-recognition among white people, prodded into being by demographic change and broader conversations about how racial identity works, could certainly lead towards self-acceptance and harmony, sure. The Parkland student activists, for example, have seemed almost intuitively savvy about such things, finding ways to interweave their goals and share their stage with kids of color who had, as one put it, always stared down the barrel of a gun. Oh my god, so now... Oh my god. She's inserting gun rights into a discussion about racial identity. What bullshit. Oh my god. I have to stop and take a moment. Okay. That was upsetting. Okay. I knew this was going to be a bad paragraph. You know, I knew this going in, but that was a bit much. Okay. Let's continue. Oh, nice. This next sentence starts with the word but. I don't know how these people have jobs. Okay. But we're also staring at copious evidence of this self-recognition swinging in the other direction. When white Americans burrow into their group identity, the switch that Painter described often flips from nothingness to awfulness. Some of us fixate on maintaining racial dominance, conjuring ethno-nationalist states, or a magical immigration formula that somehow imports half of Scandinavia. A majority of white Americans currently believe that their own race is discriminated against. Oh my god, how does she function? How does she not fall down? That is a terrible sentence. Okay. New accounts fill with white resentment and torch-lit white power marches. New accounts fill. Oh, okay. Yeah, that again a terrible sentence. New accounts fill with white resentment and torch-lit white power marches. White Americans who seem lost are searching for something important. How to see ourselves without turning awful in the process. And that's the end of the paragraph and the end of the article. I have to go back up. There's something in here. Let's see here. Conjuring this and that. Oh yeah, that somehow imports half of Scandinavia. The assumption on the part of the writer of the article is that we must have immigration. So what she's going for here is that a magical immigration formula that somehow imports half of Scandinavia. The concept is that we have to import people by the baker's dozen, and if we're not going to be importing people from one part of the planet, we're going to be importing people from a different part of the planet. Again, the assumption is we must be importing people at all times. Oh my god, the layers of assumption and... Oh gosh, okay. Okay. This was just upsetting, that's all. I'm a little bit triggered. I'm doing okay. Just a little bit triggered. Okay. Because I'm so upset, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to take a breather because I kind of need one. I would like to have a little bit of peanut butter, and I would like to listen to something pleasant and nice. So I'm going to listen to something pleasant and nice. It was just going to be music with no imagery, but I'm now going to place imagery over the... oh, wait, no, there is imagery. That's right, never mind. I don't have to worry about that. There is going to be some imagery. It's not exactly fancy-dancy or anything, but it is imagery. So it's fine. Okay. This track that I'm about to play, this is by a Frenchman who goes by... Darius, I believe that is his name. It strikes me as possibly being Greek. This is a track off of a 2015 album, EP, the name of which I do not recall. The title of this track is Espoir. Espoir, well, what is it? In Franchinese, I guess it would be espoir. Espoir means hope. So, I guess in this context, I'm going to hope that I don't get triggered in just a few minutes, and hope that my peanut butter calms me down quite a lot. So here we are, Darius with his track Espoir on 0. Rest in peace, eardrums. In 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright, that was Darius. Big fan of Darius. He has a couple of really, really good tracks. Alright, apparently I'm a little bit dehydrated, so I had the peanut butter, felt much better, and now my throat is a little dry. Jeez, man. It got quite warm here in Los Angeles, and of course what happens? You get dehydrated. Alright, I feel much better now. So that was the article. That was the article, and it was very distressing. I've been resistant for quite some time to going headlong into Juliet, Quebec, and yet over the past few weeks, It seems like a question, it seems like a concept that I simply can't escape from. Now, of course, because I happen to inhabit this part of the internet, clearly I'll end up encountering people like, for example, Duvid. I'll be encountering people like, well, just, yeah, people like Duvid, I guess. Nothing against Duvid or anything. Although he is silly and I completely disagree with him. Yeah, just, wowzers, man, that article, jeez. It's stuff like that, I tell you what, stuff like that. It's just upsetting. I don't even know what to call it. It's just upsetting. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go up into the chat and see what's near the top of the chat, and see what's going on there, because I'm curious. All right. Oh my God, there's so much. Holy crap. Okay. Because there's so many of them, I think I'm just gonna go for the ones where I'm being atted, because there's like just way too many of them. I'm never gonna get to the live chat. Because I just realized that I've been yammering on for like over 40 minutes about that article. And there's no way I'll be able to get to all of it. So, oh hey, I wonder if Brundlefly is still here. Oh, he's East Coast. It's possible that he won't be able to make it through the whole stream. Well, and if Brundlefly, you are still about. Hello, how's it going? Thank you for popping by. Elaine Sabatino, there we are. Elaine Sabatino, hey guys, just got back from dropping off my friend at the airport. Nice, nice. Good. What do you call? Cheers to friends. Big high five and cheers to friends. Where are we? Right. At least it Get Out bashed the lefties. Oh yeah, Get Out. I kind of want to. I kind of want to watch Get Out just to see what it's about, but maybe I won't. I'm not sure yet. All right, where are we? Well, maybe I'll read a couple of these. See, that's cool, you guys. Don't have to stick up for him. I did it on my own, of my own volition, for my own reasons. Oh, what are we talking about? Oh, that's an entire conversation. Never mind. I don't want to step into things at the moment, because it'll take me a long time to reverse engineer. Any good streams today? This is my first. Yes, Elaine Sabatino, there was a fantastic stream. Big Cat Kayla, she had on a guy named Horus the Avenger, and he was outlining strategies and tactics, and it was very good. It was a fantastic stream. I highly recommend it. I'm going to be listening to it again tomorrow at some point. It's really good. I'm not joking. You should look into it, seriously. Maybe I'll link to it. Let's see here. Big Cat Kayla Horus. Okay. Apparently, I'm not good at making things happen. Wowzers. A 2-hour and 40-minute stream. That's big. That is a big stream. Okay, so I'm copying it, and here we go. Fantastic stream incoming. I just typed it into the chat. Brilliant stream. Check it out. It's really good. All right. Where are we? Hey, Eke, check out the new The Purge prequel trailer. Talk about anti-white media. Dude, totally. It's actually... Okay. When the first Purge movie came out, I was kind of, I was interested because it's a really, really good concept. It's a great concept. And the movie, it was terrible. It was just really, really bad. It was nothing more than just a bunch of random things happening, and that was really about it. And I didn't care for it at all. And I think I watched part of the second one, and the same thing. It was sort of like, this is stupid. Like, there's actually nothing happening. It's literally just being scary for the sake of being scary, and that's it. And yes, the entire thing was a giant middle finger to white America. Yeah, I don't like it. And it was upsetting, too, because it's a great concept. I love movies with a good concept. I will actually watch movies all the way through if the concept is good and entertaining. I watched this one movie, for example. It was called The Cube. It was made way back in like 97 or something like that. And just, it was a bad movie. It was really not a good movie. But it had a really interesting concept, and the idea was that these people were stuck in a three-dimensional moving maze, and they had to figure out how they were going to get through this three-dimensional moving maze, and it was a gargantuan cube. I think it was like a mile big or something like that. Like it was stupid huge, and the only way that they could get out was to get, well, whatever. I won't explain too much to you, just in case someone wants to watch it. On a conceptual level, it was really, really good. And of course I watched the entire thing all the way through. I watched another one like some years ago called I Declare War. And I Declare War was, admittedly, yes, it was an anti-American propaganda piece, but I mean, it wasn't formally propaganda because it was an independent film, so it doesn't count as propaganda in the formal sense. However, it did have an anti-American sentiment about it. And it was about a bunch of little kids that were playing war in the forest. So there's like Team A and Team B, and you know how it goes. Little kids freaking casing each other with like sticks that shaped kind of like guns or something. And what the people did, the filmmakers, was they foleyed in a bunch of like explosions and gun sounds and all this stuff, so that it sort of heightened the idea of child imagination. And truth be told, on a conceptual level, it's actually really interesting. There are like some torture themes. There's some mercenary themes because it was about the theater of war. Really interesting concepts. And of course I watched the entire thing all the way through because it was pretty well executed. I didn't think the ending was all that great, but again, on a conceptual level, fantastic. And yeah, with The Purge, same thing. I was actually really disappointed that I stayed through the entire movie because by the end of it, it's like, okay, so the end of the entire movie is that we're just going to sit here at gunpoint and not murder each other? What? It doesn't make any sense. It's completely dumb. That's not, I mean, on a conceptual level, it's actually pretty good to have a peaceful ending, but I don't, well, whatever. I guess I don't want to do a full breakdown of the movie because I'd much rather go to the rest of the chat because I just imagine that I'm missing a whole lot that's further on down. But yeah, basically the ending of Purge was not, the first Purge was not satisfying in the least. And I'm loath to check out the other Purges because I don't know, I don't like it. Sorry about that. I just, the anti-American and the anti-white propaganda, for some reason, over the past like 2 weeks has really gotten to me. I can't explain why. Just something about it is starting to, it's starting to eat away at me a little bit, and I don't care for it. Alright, let's go further down. I shared the Purge trailer and said how it was race baiting garbage, and the trolls came out. You better believe they did. Are you guys in FB? I called out the cucks after they went on about slavery. No, I avoid Facebook like the Black Death. I have no interest in going back to Facebook. I was on it for a little while. I didn't care for it. I'm happy to remain way outside of Facebook. I speak for myself when I say I can't handle it. Alright, Eke having to red pill a bit with this one. Always good to take a refresher, and sadly there's no shortage of material available. You are not joking. Alright. Do you hear the fear and anger behind this, Eke? Yes, I do. I actually did hear the fear and anger behind the article. Yeah, okay, here we go. The trailer basically blames black dysfunction on the government. It's alternate reality, how whites are going ballistic on blacks. Yeah, I know. I see that all the time where people are like, oh, but whites are so evil because one time a white guy did something bad to a black guy, which I admit is a bad thing. You know, you shouldn't hurt people, obviously. But at the same time, it's like, well, but it's not... The norm is not for white people to attack blacks. Alright. Oh yeah, John Harris, when Eke began to hate. Oh god, how embarrassing. Alright, here we go. Let's continue. Continuing down, let's see if we can find a... Oh, here we are. Press 1 if you are a good boy. Alright, well, it's way too late for me to press 1, but just imagine that I pressed 1 on that one. Okay, here we are. Double negative, we know. Shut it down. Yeah. Too much. Okay, Eke, think about it esoterically. Oh, see, gun rights is about whiteness, to be honest. Okay, think about it esoterically. Yeah, I kind of get that. Journalists are just like KGB. No, they're not. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were saying it. Yeah, they are just like KGB agents. Yeah, I completely agree. Yes, they are. Absolutely. This is the demoralization process described by Yuri Bezmenov. All right. And anyone who hasn't checked out Yuri Bezmenov, he's got 2 lectures, both on YouTube. Each is well worth it. I watched both of them twice, if not thrice. Fantastic lectures, both of them. Yuri is the man. He is short, bald, and clever, and I love him. He is awesome. Check out Yuri Bezmenov. Also, he defected and he went to Canada, and he ended up a gun owner. So he was, in some sense, a based leaf. In some sense. Yeah, Yuri Bezmenov, check him out, he's awesome. All right, government and media are the same. These days they are, I concur. All right, see here. I heard that 40% of the general population, Gen Pop of USSR, were government informants. Yeah, I heard it was 20%, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was upwards of that. Because the fact of the matter is, lots of people ended up getting turned. It was very upsetting. It was a very upsetting situation that they were going through, and I am starting to suspect that we're going to go through that here in America in the not-too-distant future. Okie doke. Yeah, Gen X in body, boomer in spirit. Yes, and sadly, that kind of is me. Alright, okay, looks like we are pretty much down to the bottom of chat. Are we? Yeah, I think so. Let's see here. Sin recommended it too, and I was late. Was that piece Ekelex read from the Root? No, it wasn't from the Root. It was actually from either the New York Times or the LA Times, but I want to say it was the New York Times. Yeah, they're just outright hating now. I mean, I don't even know what else to call it. I mean, if you just took that article and substituted white people for black, I mean, you wouldn't hear the end of it. Everyone would be flipping out. The left would be tearing out their eyes. They would be rioting in the streets. They'd be burning things right now. There'd be left-wing murder squads immediately if that article was written about black people. And the New York Times, they're now openly doing, it's too much. Okay. We're gonna continue. Here we go. Let's see here. Hi Elaine. USSR, I think they've Cold Warred it to at least 75% now with the cultural informant zombie operatives. Hope we are bringing that number down through our efforts, and one day it will crash. I don't know what you're referring to, but hey, I'll take it. I hope it crashes too. All right. We need to understand that we and the leftist cucks are living in 2 different worlds. I concur. These Hollywood movies are simply propaganda for the lefties, but they just piss us off. That's correct. It's very weird that now I actually can't watch movies that were produced after like 2007 or 2008 for the most part. There are some exceptions, but for the most part I just can't handle it. It's very peculiar. Let's see, all I have to do is unfriend everyone except for like 40 people, and then FB will be fun. Yeah, I can't even go that route. I just can't. It's too much. I was on Reddit for a little while, and I'm glad I got off of Reddit, to be honest. It was just too much. Okay. I guess that about does it for that end of it. I have to do something in the morning. I think I want to go ahead and call it soon, so I'm going to play one more track. This track is a track by a guy named Tim Hecker. Tim Hecker is a Canadian noise artist, and I used this in my Battle Royale edit. And I just happened to think that the aural quality of this track is just fantastic. It's called Ghostwriter. Writer, as in to write, as in to scribe. And something about it just went really well with I found a section on YouTube of the making of Battle Royale, and I just happened to really like this one section. Something about it was just, it was great. It was really, really good, and I think I'll go ahead and let the piece speak for itself. Because of the way that I edited this, the entire set, I edited everything modularly, so I would edit each track with an intro and an outro. I don't actually recall how the intro works on this one, so please excuse me if there might be a little bit of a flag on either side of this, where there's like a little extra audio or something like that. Again, I say, I just happen to really like this. I like the mood of the track itself, and I also really enjoy what you're actually about to see. So again, I will let it speak for itself. This is Tim Hecker, Ghost Writer. On 0, rest in peace eardrums. 3, 2, 1, 0.
子供でも好きだったら好きじゃん。一生懸命好きじゃん。なんかそういうのが
よね。
好きは好きさ、
好きは好きなんですよ。
精一杯好きだし。
A dialogue with childhood. A serious dialogue, though not lacking in humor. A dialogue which centers around childhood concerns, which uses not childhood vocabulary, but childhood imagery, and a terminology in which childhood expresses its joys, hopes, and fears. This is Fred Rogers, creative person.
All right, that was Tim Hecker. And at the very end, I had a little clip from a Mr. Rogers documentary. Oh, that's right. Let's transition back to our sunrise. There we are. So yeah, man, there we are. Oh, Snugs. All right, buddy. I'll see you later, pal. See you later. So yeah, there we... God damn it. All right, John Harris, you're a bit much, buddy. You're going crazy. So yeah, I think that about does it for me anyway. Because again, I have an appointment that I have to take care of first thing in the morning, so I have to be careful. I did want to go ahead and just say I'm very pleased with the progress of the short film at the moment. Everything seems to be going in the correct direction, and in the coming months, I'm going to begin preparation for getting funding, which means I'm going to have to start knocking on doors. I heard about this one guy who funded an entire movie. This is not a joke. He funded an entire movie by conning, and I don't want to con anyone, but the point still stands. He conned a bunch of dentists to put in money so that they would get the sensation of having participated in Hollywood by funding a movie. And one of the caveats was he had to use some of their friends or wives or daughters or whatever within the movie. So one of them ended up being one of the main actors. And apparently it sank the movie, but the concept is still the same. The idea is to figure out a way to just knock on doors. I got a couple of buddies that I might be able to tap here and there, so that'll be pretty cool. We're going to design everything, because I'm going to be working with a couple of people that are amateur filmmakers. They used to do some stuff in Hollywood, but apparently they didn't care for it. And they are more or less, quote-unquote, our guys, so that's cool. And they'd be willing to, they even said they'd be willing to do everything for me, basically at a cut rate price, almost nothing. So hey man, as far as I'm concerned, if they're going to help me out, then that's what I'm going to do. They have a camera that is way better than mine, and they also have experience on how to work sets, of which I have limited experience in, so I'll take anything I can get at this point in time. So yeah, that's my way of saying, I harp on it all the time, but it's true, we need media. We absolutely need media. So I'm doing my own part to generate my own media. And for you guys, I would say, yeah, get out there. Find some way to contribute in some way. I don't know how, but find a way to contribute somehow. If you're good at writing books, write a book. If you're a musician, make music. Whatever you do, just get out there and talk. Get out there and say something. Put it out there. Culture is expressed through art. So we need art. We need to art our way into culture, into the mainstream. In some sense, that might sound... Okay, in order for this to work, we have to get the eyes and the ears of the normies, the general population, Gen Pop. Once we get Gen Pop in on this, everything just goes gangbusters. So yeah, we need to. I actually do think we need to go big tent as much as is possible. In the chat on the Big Kayla and the Big Cat Kayla stream, in the chat there was much discussion about whether or not Jared Taylor was or was not woke on Juliet, Quebec. And I'm honestly of the opinion that he probably is, and it is a tactical maneuver on his part to say absolutely nothing or to minimize any hint of his wokeness. And the idea is based on, this idea of mine is based on something that Jared Taylor once said in an interview, which was that you can only have one extreme view or opinion. You can only have one thing about you that is more than a normie would be able to take. So, if, for example, living in Los Angeles, I happen to be pro-Second Amendment. That's pretty much the extent of what I can push. I can't really push much more than that, because the moment that I do, I get lots of cross looks. People start to get hostile at me. I experienced that earlier today when I started talking about communism within the coffee shop amongst people who were both socialists and communists. You can't do that. And in this sense, Jared Taylor refraining from certain types of discussion so that he can have the broader appeal of only having one extreme position, which is to be pro-white. This makes sense. It's a way to get the general population, it's a way to get Gen Pop in on the game with as little friction as possible. I understand it and I get it. Whether or not I agree with it is a separate issue entirely. The point is that I get it. And I think this is sort of what, considering media, my apologies. Considering media, I think this is more or less the direction that I wish to go. I want to go big tent. I want to go as normie friendly as possible, which means that I'm going to have to embed everything as carefully as I can so that I don't unintentionally begin to alienate people. I want people to get it in their heads, and I want it to either be funny or poignant or camouflaged or whatever in such a way that it kind of seeps in. So anyone who isn't aware will just see something that's entertaining, and it'll only dawn on them much later, and someone who is aware will see everything that I'm doing. So that's the general conception. That's the idea that I'm going for right now, and I think that if you're going to make your own media, I really think you should do the same thing. Otherwise you end up sounding very pedantic and didactic, and there is nothing worse than some person lecturing you about what you should or should not think. I've seen some of these pieces of art where they try to go political, but they become very literal. You know, it's one of those things where the scriptwriter is basically saying, you should believe this because this is what I think. And you're like, dude, shut up, I don't care. So yeah, if you're going to go for that, I would say just be careful in how you deliver your message. That's really all I'm saying for that. With that, let's go check out the chat and see what's going on with chat. All right. All the way up here, we're talking about anime nationalism. You better believe, buddy. When are you going to make a stream on Asian GFs? I don't know, man. First I gotta find myself an Asian GF, I guess, but I prefer blue eyes, Celtic if at all possible, maybe Irish. I'd be willing to go out as far as Irish. Alright, let's see here. I am just shitposting? Yeah, me too, me too. Plotinus. Oh, okay, yeah. He's not here. For a moment I was gonna be like, yeah, he's here. He's not here. Let's see here. Honorary milkers are forbidden milkers. That's funny. Watch a Vertigo Politics video on art. You know what? I think I will. I think I will. Okay, let's see here. He's totally woke on it, and it's 100% tactical. Yes, Sin, I tend to agree. Let's see here. Taylor said he views. Oh, okay. Jews are involved in nefarious activities. Okay, I'll have to. I have to get a link on that. But I'll worry about it later. I'm not worried about it. Let's see here. Where are we? Oh well, it's all the way down there. Eke is a mindful ninja. Yeah, mindful is key. Very, very key. Very important. Gen 4 meme warfare. Got to implant the mind antiviruses. You better believe, man. Kind of the Sam Hyde tactic. Yes, I stand with Ninja. That's the way to go, man. Freaking ninja nationalism, bro. We gotta get in there. We gotta be slick. unseen, deliver the blow, make it happen. It's gonna be rad. All right, I always pointed out the black chimp outs and asked them why they book genocidal maniacs. Yeah. All right, and mainly because I don't want to hear them. I don't really care what they think about what I'm saying. What are we talking about in Philly? Same boat. You can't talk to many people much. Oh, yeah, that's right. LA coffee shop. Yeah, it's rough business out here, man. Being in Los Angeles is just difficult. There's no way out of that. It's just hard to be in Los Angeles. But whatever. Anyway. Okay, with all of that said, I think this is about where I want to call the stream. Again, I have some things that I absolutely have to take care of in the morning, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I guess that's about it. Yeah, I'm going to be playing more Battle Royales, so you're absolutely going to see some more freaking Japanese people doing whatever they do on screen. Because it's one of my favorite movies, and I made an edit to it, and there you go, situation handled. In the meantime, I'm going to let out, and I'm going to fall unconscious, so that I can get up in the morning and perform vital and necessary tasks, so that I can continue on my general program to do whatever the hell I'm doing here. Oh yeah, on Friday, I'm going to have somebody by, so let's see here, I guess that's tomorrow, isn't it? Though technically later today. Yeah, I'm going to have somebody on the next stream for the Red Pill process program. So, yeah, really looking forward to that. It's going to be super cool. I hope everyone pops by for it because it'll be rad. And I guess that's about it. I think I'm going to go ahead and change my outro. My outro typically would end up with the 4 rules of firearms safety, but I think I'm just going to devote that to like maybe a once a week thing, like maybe it'll be Firearms Friday or something like that. Because I wish to be more positive. I want everything to be positive, and even though of course I'm a huge Second Amendment proponent, firearms ownership is something that I think is fundamental to free people and a free nation, obviously. I think I'd like to go straight ahead positivity. So for the moment, my ad hoc out will simply be, we're going to win. We are winners. It's going to happen. The only question is how. That's the only question. And with that, floss your teeth, drink a tall glass of water, get outside, get some exercise. All right, guys. Cheers.